What's happening, everyone? Welcome in. It is the end of January. It is Monday, January 30th, I believe, and this is a brand new episode of Snaps. We're back for another week. Sorely missed y'all, man. For a 3-day week, and I love it because I'm someone who can definitely get behind and advocate for a 4-day work week in general life. But it does mean that I miss y'all over the weekend. I miss you, Aaron. I miss Brum. I miss all the incredible listeners we get to hang out with every single day here in the Volume Sports YouTube chat. So I just want to stay off the jump here. I'm very excited to be here. No, I am not being held against my will in some sort of Eastern European hotel. Yes, if you were to walk into my room, it would look like I was running either a trafficking ring or like an unsuccessful OnlyFans account. And that's because I have taken this show on the road. I am live at Mobile at the Senior Bowl. Can't you see? For those listening to podcasts, this is just a hotel room. No, I will be at practice tomorrow, though, live. So look forward to that as maybe a little bit better like scenery there, a little bit more of the vibe. For now, I sit alone in my hotel room drinking well, you know what? I was going to say shitty Keurig coffee, but no, I appreciate that this Keurig's in here. It's very nice. I'm T-Bob Hebert, one of your hosts here on Snaps, joined, as always, by QB1, or, as we'll talk today, he gives us some QB2 insight, Mr. Aaron Murray. Aaron, what's happening, bro?
Just a great weekend, and hope you're enjoying yourself in Mobile. So, too bad there isn't a quarterback there that we'll be discussing soon that will be at practice tomorrow.
Yeah, he should. He should have been, right? But we'll get there. Okay. Hey, check this out, Aaron. You think I ever lead y'all astray on this show? And if I'm looking way off the camera, it's because I got a laptop on this table. My camera's up here. It is what it is. Joseph Evans, gotta say, T-Bob, after months of practice, I can say that wiping the water off your body before you get out the shower does provide a noticeable difference. I'm telling you, y'all. I did not come up with this. My boy Trey Helms told it to me. He discovered, I think, from Reddit or something. Basically, when you get out the shower, do not go straight to towel. Give yourself a once-over with your hands, right? So go through your hair, kind of flick it off. And it's almost like squeegeeing water out of a towel before you hang it up to dry. If you hang a towel up to dry just completely wet, it's never going to get dry, right? Like a hand towel, so you got to squeegee the water out. You take that first layer of water out, and so all drying that your towel is doing is that next level. It's like removing the bullshit layer of conversation and getting into the stuff that really matters, the emotional stuff. And what it leads to is a less wet towel and a towel that you can reuse more times. Aaron, if you haven't done it yet, I'm telling you, bro, you need to hop on.
I feel like there's that transition from when the shower's off where I'm like a nice, steamy, hot shower where I'm burning a little bit, but it feels kind of good. The minute you turn it off, the minute you turn it off, you get a little bit cold. And I want to wrap myself up and get nice and warm again. It's the thought of me delaying the process and being a little bit chilly doesn't sound something like I want to do. I'd rather just reuse or use more towels, make sure I keep that nice, warm, hot enjoyment, just got out of the shower type of feel. So, I will not be doing it. I completely disagree with your method.
What?
Yeah,
okay,
I do,
no. Stop. Do you have a shower that has a door on it? Is it like a closed door or something along those lines? So don't open the door. The steam is still trapped in there. It takes 30 seconds. Give yourself the once over. Just try it. See how much faster you dry off, which actually leads to being warmer because you're no longer wet out of the shower. Trust me, dude. Trust me. Look,
I enjoy the nice rub drying. Okay, I'll try it.
Do you like our listeners or do you hate them? Okay, because Joseph Evans and Blake Walters are right here in the chat telling you it's the way you do. It's the way you do. Do you ring your pin?
I do like the poll right now of have you ever thought about this before? Because the people who do it and do it well, they're making easy 6 figures, some of them a week, definitely a month. Yeah, why not?
Well,
if you knew you were going to make, But some people like the big furry guy feel. So like I think
because I'm
you're
not
in
a
a
very
category that can
attractive
succeed.
21-year-old. Aaron's talking
No,
about having an
no.
OnlyFans account here.
There's plenty of ladies that would love
No,
a nice
dude.
furry T-Bob popping up on their screen. A little $5.99
See,
a month.
I
think
don't
you
know
could
about
kill it.
ladies. I don't know about ladies. Though there are some women who are ass men, right? But definitely when you're talking about my strengths, um, my booty would be one of them. It's large, it's shaped, it just looks great, like the profile view especially. I
Hairy.
have thought, relatively, I suppose. I
Yeah.
have thought maybe at times I put in the effort, maybe I can make some headway in the homosexual community potentially, but I just don't know that I'm there yet. Also, the problem is, sure, I think I'm confident in myself, but again, I'm about to be 34. I don't stand a chance. Too many hot young guys there probably are on OnlyFans right now. I mean, it just
Yeah, but
I think the
none of
game
them
has
have your
passed us
personality
by.
though. No, none of them have your
What's the more
personality though.
saturated market? OnlyFans or
Yeah.
sports podcasting with two white dudes?
Ha! Fair.
Seriously.
I mean,
if we can make this work.
completely fair. Maybe I'll do it like.
But does OnlyFans have to always be sexual? Like I've never been on it before.
That's what I was going.
But
Well,
is
not
everything
in its
sexual on
inception.
there?
Not
Okay.
in its inception. I feel like it's like the internet now, and it's like 98% porn. But I think originally it was to give you access to like, celebrities and people that you enjoy, just kind of give you a more unfettered, direct way of supporting them and getting access. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll combine the old school and the new, right? I'll just like give sports takes while twerking, or I'll like take a picture. I'll like take a picture of my butthole and just be like, "Will the Saints win the Super Bowl?"
naked
Is Dak Prescott elite with
naked sports chats with T-Bob and Aaron? Come on.
Is Dak Prescott elite just with a pure butthole picture? Subscribe to my OnlyFans now for the full conversation and the full uncensored pic.
I mean, I don't think there's anyone
says,
out there doing it. I don't think there's anyone out there doing it, like naked sports casting. I think we'd be the first ones.
No, so that's the other thing about the internet. I always assume that everything is being done. Like there is literally nothing out there.
Bro, can you let us know, please?
That is not being done.
Can we find out? Can we find out?
I think we freaked out. Did we scare off from?
Okay.
No, I want you to sit in your own comment, and you can go tarnish your own search history for God and everyone.
Everybody relax. Everybody relax. Okay, we got some stuff to talk about today. I don't want to keep talking about Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett keeps forcing his way onto the show the same way that he forced his way onto Georgia for the past few years when everybody kept trying to run him out of town. He's basically trying to QB1 the show. We got a Nick Saban NIL story that's pretty interesting. And then Mario Cristobal found his scapegoat as there have been some changes at Miami. Light Dog 68 says, "What is happening here? Conversation, man. We're just hanging out, dude." Hey, I got a quick question on the NFL playoffs because, like, it's a Monday. We can't not talk about the championships that went down this weekend. How do you feel about the like? Because so obviously I'm from LSU. A lot of people are Bro fans. It's like a lot of Bengals fans, and I am about to lose it with the amount of bitching that I see right now about the referees from last night's game. Who cares about the refs? You let Joe Burrow get sacked 18,000 times. You still had the ball with a minute left to win the game. And what'd you do? You let Chris Jones get a big sack on third down. You gave up the longest punt return that the Chiefs had all season. The Chiefs, like look at Papa Colin. Papa Colin hits the nail on the head. Shout out Papa Colin. Thanks for having us here. Chiefs had more yards, far more pass yards, more first downs, more yards per play, allowed fewer sacks, fewer turnovers, one time of possession. But yeah, it was the refs. It's just, I just hate all the ref talk. Like, were they a little annoying? Yes. Okay. But it's not the reason why the Chiefs won the game. Patrick Mahomes is a god, and he reminded you of that last night.
I'm with you, man. Just enough's enough. Like you didn't make it. I agree. You didn't make enough plays when they had the opportunity, and the Chiefs did. Did the referee hit Patrick Mahomes out of bounds to put them in field goal range? No, the player did, for goodness sake. So, listen, at a close game like that, people are always going to get nitpicky. They're going to find a reason why, just like Christopher, to find someone else to blame, because obviously it wasn't Joe Burrow. It wasn't Cristobal's fault why Miami sucked. It wasn't his fault why his quarterback took such a major regression from the year before. Let's find a scapegoat. It was, like I said, it wasn't the Bengals, it wasn't the coaching staff, definitely wasn't Joe Burrow. Must have been the damn refs that cost them. You lost.
Yeah.
You lost. That's it. Plain and simple. Too many
you lost. Plays. And too bad your offensive line for the second year in a row. That's why you lost, right? You lost the Super Bowl because Aaron Donald got to Joe Burrow on 4th down. You lost this game because Chris Jones got to Joe Burrow on 3rd down.
Yeah.
And the third down redo was a mess last night. I'm not saying the refs were clean. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that it's not the reason for the loss. And just, I don't know, man. You know how you like every now and then, Aaron, we like to fall into our old men yelling at the clouds thing. Like my old man thing is how I was raised is I don't give a damn. You are not allowed to bitch about the refs. Like it is what it is. Like even the Nola no call in 2018, if Drew Brees hits a wide open Mike Thomas on the slant the next play, they probably score a touchdown and go to the Super Bowl. Like, I get it. Refs suck, but it is what it is. Just deal with it and play the game. Sorry, I had to.
Doesn't it feel good?
Get that off my
Doesn't
chest.
it just feel good, some T-Bob, just to go like old man on everyone and just really from the soul, like how I feel about NIL, you feel about the refs. Just like, stop bitching about it. Just play football.
Well, before we get to Stetson, let's touch on the NIL thing real quick, because I don't know that I have a ton to say on it, but I want to get your take on it. So Nick Saban was talking to a group of high school coaches in Alabama, and he's kind of giving the layout of the land, and he's telling all kinds of crazy stories. And he goes on to talk about how he had a starting O-lineman, potentially a multi-year starting O-lineman, who came to it and said, "Hey, coach, I need $500,000 and I need my girlfriend to get into law school." Nick Saban said no, and that player transferred. Some are trying to connect the dots with their starting lineman that transferred to Miami in the offseason. My favorite part was in that article, there's like Miami, who also has a law school. And I'm like, don't like most places. Yeah, whatever. I think most places do. But the point is $500K. Like, we have gotten to the point where a player has enough courage in his balls to go to Nick Saban, made the most intimidating man in college football, and say, "Coach, give me $500,000, and guess what? Get my girlfriend into law school. Oh, and pay for the law school." Let's go, dude. It's a big nuts ask right there.
I mean, that's the first thing that popped to my mind. Like, I'm just going back to like my 18 to 22-year-old self. The thought of like going to Bobo or Coach Rick to like even like talk to them. Like, you're sitting outside their office. You're kind of, it's like seeing the principal.
Oh, you're so nervous, dude.
Nervous, man. Like, you're like, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it with my chest. I'm going to feel good about it. Bobo, we're doing this. And Nick Saban is on in a different level than he's the greatest coach of all time. To walk into his office, the nerve you must have, and like you said, the big old nuts you have to tell him that you want $500,000. So your girlfriend, not like you say you married her at like age 20. I don't know. Not your wife, your girlfriend who may dump next week. Hey, my girlfriend, this girl I slept with last night, just found her at the bars. She wants to go to law school. I figured I'd help her out. Hey, coach, can you help me get $500,000 to send her to law school? I just can't believe the audacity.
Okay. To my understanding, he wanted $500,000 and then wanted them to send her to law school. And
I thought like the whole thing was like, I want $500,000. Some of it would go for law school. Some of it would then the rest of it go into my pocket. So you're saying it was a double dewey. He wanted both.
Do you have? I think you had a double dip. I think he wanted both. I guess it doesn't really change.
He wanted
much.
Both.
He wanted both. Yeah. How crazy is that? I will say, okay, so the only reason I bring it up, Aaron, it's funny that you talk about the girlfriend because
it's always no until you ask, right? So you gotta at least put it out there. Good for him.
Well, yeah, obviously he had an offer in hand, right? Like the $500K isn't out of nowhere. Wherever he went was paying him that money. And it's funny you bring up the girlfriend because this is the only part of the story that resonated with me. Because I get it, okay? What position did this cat start at? Nick Saban said starting offensive line. Well, offensive alignment at times, we need some help in the dating department. Okay. And what this can lead to is us being viewed as traditionally, maybe what you would say as being whip, or as the kids would say nowadays, being simps. And that's fine. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I'll accept that title. But yeah, dude, like this guy, he wants this girl to stay with him. Like if she says she needs to get into law school, he's gonna make it happen. Okay,
Yeah.
because she's choosing to sleep with him. And so I kind of I get it, man. I get it. He's probably banging up, right? He's probably sleeping with someone who is better looking than himself. And so going into Nick Saban's office and demanding that Nick send his girlfriend to law school is just it just had to happen. It's better than the alternative of no longer having sex with him. It's really good sex.
So. Well, I mean, that's not the whole story too. I guess there's 2 defensive backs that they were recruiting that essentially told Nick Saban that, hey, we need $800,000 if we want to go to Alabama. And Nick's like, sorry, dude, like that ain't happening. Like you're either coming here to play football and play football, and that's what I want you worried on, or just don't come here. Like go somewhere else. Like, but we talked about this last week. Like that's what kids are concerned about. And like you can fault them, you can't fault them. It's just the way it is. Honestly, like I would consider it. And yes, I am someone that was very fortunate. I came from a very good family. That would not have been my first question. My first question would have been, where am I on the depth chart? How am I going to find a way to be the starting quarterback? What does that quarterback position look like? And kind of gauge it from there. Probably second. I would honestly say second before even academics would be NIL. That would be my order. I'd go position on the football team. What's the fastest route to being the starting quarterback? 2, how much money am I going to make? 3, what do the academics look like? Maybe 2 would be coaching staff. 3, NIL. 4, academics. Just to be honest. So these kids, it's 1 is NIL. Like I don't care, what the order looks like, the pecking order in front of me looks like. I don't care that this is the greatest coach of all time. I don't care that this coach has put first rounders like no one else over the past decade plus. And those guys are making multi millions of dollars per year. I don't care about looking ahead to 3 years. I'm looking right now in the moment. I think that's the problem for these kids. They're looking, how do I get my bag now? Not where can I go play? Where can I have success? Where can I be coached by the best? And then really go make significant generational wealth in 3 years from now. That's the problem. So it's, let me get my bag now, even if it's in a not as good of a situation.
I still don't think it's a problem, man. I don't think the problem with planning to make
NFL money. I think these kids don't look ahead though.
Yeah, but looking ahead is risky. Like I think if I was a financial advisor, I would say get your money now, because most people wash out and don't make the NFL. Yeah, man, the NFL's hard to make.
If you're a 5-star DB, I'm gonna give you this. If say you're a 5-star DB, Nick Saban, who is a specialist on defense, master, put all these guys in the NFL, offers you a spot and says you're going to be my starting cornerback next year. I think our collective can give you $200,000. Arizona comes to you and says, hey, we'll give you $1 million to come play here. Where are you going?
I mean, it is a fair point in that a 5-star cornerback probably, I feel like, would have one of the higher hit rates of making it to the NFL. But even then, I mean, $1 million, Aaron, wouldn't you have to be like, are you talking about $1 million a year or $1 million over the life of the contract?
Same thing. $200,000 per year at Alabama, $1 million per year at Arizona. You're going to be the starting
$1 million per year. No,
well,
the only reason I say that, because like, what's the goal? Is to try to get drafted, right? $1 million a year. What is that? Maybe around like a fourth or like, I just don't know. I think in that scenario, what you've created, I see what you're saying, and like, I think there is a real decision to be made. But I think for a lot of these guys, it just makes way more sense to get paid now and then still try to make the NFL later, because most guys just don't make – like that's the best part about NIL, is that people can now benefit off their likeness while they're relevant, while they matter, while their talent is still worth something to someone out there, and it's not just used up as free labor. Anything else on the and I do love. I mean, Nick Saban's just got to be like, what the hell, dude? Just get me out of here, man. I don't know.
I'm telling you, Saban. They better be looking to hire his replacement here. These next hires. He ain't enjoying this shit. He's not enjoying losing.
No.
He's not enjoying losing to Kirby. He's not enjoying losing to LSU. He's not enjoying this NIL world. Now he has to find 2 new coordinators. This can't be fun. Or maybe this is what keeps him going because it's a new challenge. I don't know.
I was about to say.
I think it's more wear on the tires. I do. I think it is way more wear on the tires, and as you start getting into that 70 plus age, those sleepless nights start to add up a little bit more.
Okay, so right now the poll for whether or not I would have a successful OnlyFans account is at 53% no. So I don't fully understand that. So if we could get some votes in the yes department, that would be great. You know who wouldn't have a successful OnlyFans account? Because he somehow managed to piss off his OnlyFans? Stetson Bennett. The hits keep on coming for your boy, Aaron. I don't know exactly what this feels like, right? Because I've called you John the Baptist to Stetson's Jesus, but I don't think Jesus ever got a public intox, right? Not even at the wedding where he turned the water into wine. Here's the deal off the bat. I guess if you don't know, Stetson Bennett got arrested for public intoxication over the weekend at like 6 a.m. in Dallas. Here's the deal about I have zero moral or ethical qualms with this. I have no room to talk. I am someone who got a DWI in college, got arrested for it. It was awful at the time. It was exactly what I needed to get my shit together and stop being a dumbass. So like huge positive for me in my life, net positive. I got very lucky that nothing bad or stupid happened while I was making those bad decisions. I still get entirely too drunk. So like, again, I am not coming from a place of moral or ethical judgment, but in the context of what Stetson Bennett is trying to do right now, it has been almost like an unreal, it's a hard to fathom bad offseason thus far. Like, if you ever played Dungeons and Dragons, Aaron, when you play Dungeons and Dragons, you roll a D20, okay? It's a 20-sided die. And, like high scores are good, right? So if you get like an 18, you're probably going to do whatever you need to get done. If you get a 20, you're going to like do it and then some, right? You have a natural 20. That's a big thing. They also have a critical fail, which is when you roll a natural 1. And it'd be like, oh, I'm going to stab you. And I trip and I fall and I literally stab myself in the chest with my own knife. Like Stetson Bennett has rolled a critical 1 of an offseason after rolling a natural 20 during the championship. I mean, to somehow piss off Georgia fans after you bring them back-to-back natties, and then with all the parade shenanigans, and then the Senior Bowl invites you, and yeah, you may be mad because you weren't invited to the Senior Bowl before, but this is a great opportunity. Like the one critique against you on the field is that you are always playing quarterback from a position of power because your team is better than the other. If you go to Mobile, where I'm at right now, and you get on an even playing field, and you go out there and ball and beat out Max Duggan, and also okay, well then you're gaining steam, and then because you're having to overcome your physical deficiencies, the one thing you cannot have is off the field issues, and so it seems like he is actively going the opposite direction of the opposite direction of like everything that he needs to be doing. It's rough for him out here right now.
I wish you'd pick up my damn phone calls.
Are you really calling him? Have you really been calling him to try to give him like,
I tried.
Hey, Stetson, I'm a father of 2. I've been in this position before.
He could literally be the king of Georgia, go for governor if he wanted to, and instead he's just doing everything the opposite right now, which is unfortunate. And hopefully this, like yourself, was somewhat of a wake up call because it's been a really rough month for him. Whether it's the post parade, the comments with the media, to now this, it's just not a good look for trying to make it to the next level, because there is no room for error. Because now all of a sudden the conversation is, you didn't want to come to Mobile. You didn't want to come compete in the Senior Bowl. Whatever that reasoning was, whether it was, hey, I feel like I've done everything I need to do. I've won back-to-back national championships. There's enough film. I'm a little bit sore. I just played a few weeks ago. Maybe I'm still mourning the loss of one of my brothers. Whatever it is, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. But now the narrative is none of those. I'm in Dallas getting drunk instead of being at the Senior Bowl. Like, that's not a good look. If it was any of those other reasons, fine. Like, go take your time, go get ready for the combine. But now it's like, oh, you completely blew off an opportunity to come to the Senior Bowl, to work with these NFL coaches, to be in front of these scouts and GMs, to get on the board, to show your IQ, to compete against these other quarterbacks. And instead you're getting drunk on these 3 months are about doing everything right. This is your big interview. And every round that you fall are millions of dollars in your bank account. And that's not only for your salary, but that's also endorsements too, based on where you get drafted. So these are the 3 months or 4 months of your life where you're eating clean, you're not drinking, you're working out, you're not smoking, you're watching a ton of film, you're doing everything to get ready for the biggest interview of your life, which is about to happen. So he has started off this interview process in a really bad way, because every NFL scout is looking at, how do you handle the media? How do you handle the fans? How do you handle training? And right now it's, in their minds, was disrespectful to fans, had some beef with the media, and now is getting drunk instead of going to the Senior Bowl. Those are 3 big no-nos when you're not being drafted to be a starter right now. Because when you're a backup quarterback, your job is to sit in the back, help the starter, and do everything you can to make sure that guy's ready to play, not be a media grab, not to be the one taking the spotlight away. So right now, Stetson is really, in my opinion, doing everything wrong when he was in a position to just put his head down, keep working, keep grinding, do everything right, and put himself in a position to possibly be drafted in the top 3-4 rounds. Now, all of a sudden, if I'm a GM or coach, I'm saying, do I want this guy to be my backup when he's already causing this many issues off the field? That's some questionable stuff.
So let's explore the backup quarterback thing a bit, Aaron, because I think you've got fascinating perspective on this, having lived that life yourself and having lived with maybe the best to ever lead that life. I mean, he's up there with Charlie Whitehurst and some of the other great all-time backups. Talking about Chase Daniel. Okay, help me. Okay, first on Stetson. You're right. Right now, he is being viewed as a backup quarterback. I feel like I am starting to hear whispers. I get a general feeling that people aren't so sure that he would be willing to take a subservient role. How do you feel about, do you see a world in which Stetson Bennett would kind of accept being the backup to the extent that he would need to stay on the team?
I think that's what you have to do. And you brought it up. Like I was behind one of the best, I think the best to ever do, and that's Chase Daniel. So I was with Chase in Kansas City for 2 years, and I was with Chase in Philadelphia for a year. And I kind of got to see, and looking back at it now, I wish I would have paid more attention to it, because maybe I'd still been in the league if I kind of went his route of the way he approached being a backup. It was never Chase. Did he want to start? Of course, there's always that competitiveness in us, but Chase kind of looked at it as, hey man, until I maybe get that opportunity, what I'm going to do, because I love getting $4 million a year, is I'm going to be the best number 2 guy in the locker room. What does that mean? That means Chase was the first one in there. Chase was watching blitz pickups at 5:30 in the morning. When Alex showed up to the facility, Alex Smith showed up at 6:37, Chase would say, like, hey, this is what I got. I already met with the offensive line coach. This is our plan versus this blitz and this blitz and this blitz, first, second, third down. Bam. After practice, we'd all be watching film. He would quiz Alex on plays, and he would handle the controls on the film and quiz them on formations and this and that and the other. Essentially acted like another coach. And then when we both went to Philadelphia for Doug Peterson's first year, he did the same thing for Carson. And I'm sure he's doing the same thing now for Justin Herbert, where these starting quarterbacks are saying, hey, I can't do my job without Chase because he helps me prepare so much during the week. And honestly, they don't view him as a threat. They view him as he's an essential to me getting ready for Sunday afternoons. And that's a reason why Chase has played 5 career games, has made $40+ million, and has been in the NFL for 12+ years. When most guys come in there, they want to screw the starter. I'm not gonna help him like I should. I wanted it for me. And the starter's kind of like, dude, go find someone else that wants to help me because I'm the one getting paid $100 million, not you. So I think Stetson, all backups, like if you get drafted later on, you need to go in the mindset of what can I do to make this roster? And the best thing you can do is do the nitty gritty work to help that starter get ready. And Stetson's going to have to learn that if he's going to want to be able to make a roster early on in his career.
So, Aaron, let me get I think this might be a little personal, and I apologize ahead of time if I hit on any nerves because, look, man, football is tough. All of our football careers end eventually in the way, and can be frustrating, right? So, but when I look at Chase Daniel and I look at someone like you who had way more success than Chase Daniel did on the college level, though Chase is really good, right? And we can do that.
Chase was up for Heisman.
Oh, did he end up getting up for Heisman?
Yeah,
I mean, I knew he had really good years. They went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. I take that back then. I knew they went to Atlanta.
He didn't get drafted.
Years.
Chase didn't get drafted, but Chase had a hell of a career at Missouri.
Okay. So whatever. So when you then are a backup in the NFL, what was it that held you back from going down that same path, from mastering the backup role? Was it like you didn't want to? Because what you just described certainly sounds like you are a pseudo coach at that point.
It's just I was with Chase for 3 years, and he kind of just did it. He did it. Like I try to go into the meetings with Chase and learn, but Alex had built such a trust with him that Alex was only going to listen to Chase, which Chase had been in the league a lot longer. And the same thing with Philly. Chase got there before I got to Philly. Chase kind of built that. Doug knew him. Doug knew me too. But, just that knowledge of the game, he had a little bit more than me. So I never really could get in there. And then I just, kind of got out of the league. So I never really had that time to take that role because I was always with the best at doing it. Like I never could escape Chase, who was the best backup quarterback in the NFL. So I was always trying to compete with him when he was the best. I'm like, damn it, Chase. Like I keep following you everywhere. And, you're obviously
true.
Literally the greatest backup quarterback in NFL history is Chase Daniel.
How much does the ability to play come into all of this? Like if it was just we're out there balling. I mean, obviously everybody in the NFL is really good, but what I mean is is Chase Daniel beating out more talented quarterbacks because of everything else?
No, I don't think so.
Or is Chase Daniel also the most talented? I think
Chase is talented. Chase is talented. I wouldn't say he's like in the top half of like the most talented backup quarterbacks out there. I think there's other quarterbacks that are number twos that are way more talented than Chase is. But I'm telling you, when the discussion comes up from the starting quarterback of if Chase is going to be a free agency, I guarantee you that starting quarterback is saying, I need Chase. I need Chase in the locker room. I need Chase in the quarterback meeting room. I need Chase because he does this, 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 and this, and this, and this. And if you want me to play to my best level, whether it's Justin Herbert or Alex Smith or Carson back at Philly, Chase helps me achieve that. I mean, it's genius, man. And Hillary, his wife, was a super sweet lady too. She would befriend the starting quarterback's wife. That's a power couple, man. They do it right. They got the plan set up to absolute perfection. He's a smart guy. He's really smart. He literally is he's a coach. He's one of the smartest guys I've been around. And he can build that trust, and he just outworks everyone.
And look, and let's also be clear, man, setting matters in life, right? Yep. And so, like you said, if you had gotten a few years with Chase in Philly and then been able to go somewhere else, or maybe they're working in a rookie quarterback, so you get to kind of lean on a bit more of your experience, and there's no Chase Daniel there, then that's kind of how you fall into that situation. But life and football deals us the hands in which it does. But thank you for being that open with that, Aaron. I think that's some really I mean, look, man, I've been in football my entire life, and that concept of the backup quarterback essentially being another coach is something that I've never really considered to that extent, at least. So I really appreciate you giving us that insight, man. Okay, back to Stetson real quick. Yeah, I mean, he just has to prove that he's going to be willing to do that stuff. And again, I think that him missing the Senior Bowl is not the smartest thing for him. We'll see, though, man. He's got plenty of time still. This is not going to be the end all or the last we hear or see from Stetson Bennett. So best of luck, man. I still had a lot of fun watching. Like if I don't want his career to be ruined for a bunch of bullshit. If he's not going to play football anymore, I want it to be because he's just not good enough to play football anymore, not because he's too much of a headache in the locker room. And like you said, no NFL GM wants a backup quarterback who is going to rock the boats. Like the second, if you're not a big-time backup, like an early draft, the second the head coach has to field a question on you, you're probably dead in the water. Like you don't want the coach to be asked about you if you are the backup quarterback, except for maybe on like draft day.
Well, it's like that was always like Tebow's problem too. Like wherever Tebow went, that wasn't always the conversation. Like, do you want your backup quarterback, being the headline? And I saw something from Tebow the other day where he was doing some speech and essentially he went up to Bill Belichick and said, "Hey, I got this opportunity to make $1 million, but I want to run it by you first." And Belichick was like, "No, I don't want you to do that." And ended up getting cut a couple weeks later. And he's like, "Damn, I wish I would have done it." But like, Bill Belichick says, "Hey, don't do that," then I'm not going to do it. But like that's always the thing with Tebow. It's like, do you want the circus that follows Tebow everywhere?
Yeah.
And the same thing you could said with Johnny when he left the Browns. And, I'm not saying that Stetson, like it's still too early. Like I'm not going to put this bad cloud over Stetson where all of a sudden all this craziness is going to follow him everywhere. I hope that this is something, like we said, where he kind of regroups, gathers himself together, says, "I'm focused on football. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get ready for the combine and pro day in the NFL draft," and just boom, skyrockets from here. But like I said, as a backup quarterback, your job is not to be in the news. Your job is to be far away from that. Let the starting quarterback shine. And if something happens and you get an opportunity, just like you did at Georgia, you try to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and again, nothing that Stetson did is really that bad, right? It's just in the context of how easy this offseason should have been and how he seemed to have gone out of his way to kind of stub his toe a few times here. Yep. He should be victory lapping right now, not having any negative press. All right, next topic on today's docket. Josh Gattis, the former Broyles Award. I have trouble saying Broyles Award.
Broyles Award.
I can't. It's like really, isn't it tough, dude? It feels like you have marbles in your mouth. It feels like I'm chewing on like a overly cooked steak. The former Broyles Award winner, man, Josh Gattis fired at Miami. Now this is pretty wild. Remember, Josh Gattis 2 years ago helped bring Michigan to the playoff. Wins the Broyles Award, which for those that don't know is given to the best assistant in all of college football. Big time hire when Mario Cristobal convinced him to come down to Miami. Maybe should have been, Aaron, hindsight's 2020. Maybe a bit of red flag when in the open press conference, him and Cristobal are both talking about how we got to run the ball more. When Rhett Lashley had been like running a spread attack, like, do you have the personnel to run the ball? Yeah. But either way, after just a year at Miami with Mario Cristobal, Josh Gattis is fired. He is out. Also, quarterback coach and passing game coordinator Frank Ponce left, and he is returning back to App State to be OC, where he was during a very successful run not too long ago, 2013 through 2018. So, look, the people demanded blood. It was never going to be Mario Cristobal's blood. Instead, it is the offensive staff's blood and heads who are rolling on the ground. What do you think, Aaron? Are we looking at a classic scapegoat situation here?
Oh, yes, it's a classic scapegoat situation. Like, 1 year, for goodness sakes. And, you saw what he did at Michigan. You talked about the award he won. You brought him in there. And I know you get frustrated when I say this, but I just don't think Tyler Van Dyke is as good as we thought he was. And I think that was part of the issue last year. But he did take a significant drop back. So I do think that there was some blood had to be spilled. Someone had to be answer for their for how far this offense dropped.
For their football crimes.
What took so long to make this move is what I'm wondering. Like, why wait till the end of January to make this decision? Why wasn't this decision made a month ago? That way you would have been kind of first up to start working to get some of these coordinators out there. Like, why now? When all these coaching changes have been made, when hires have been made, whether it's head coaches or OCs or DC, do you wait to the end of January before you make your big move trying to find a new OC? To me, that's a little bit head scratching.
So that is head scratching to me as well. I'm thinking about this live because I was also looking up articles about, okay, who could maybe be next. This is pretty wild, Aaron. This is Miami's 5th offensive coordinator. Whoever is hired will be their 5th offensive coordinator in 6 years. They've had half a decade where they've basically gone a new OC every single year. That's toxic. That's really bad. But you start to look at some of the names and look, Cliff Kingsbury, Joe Brady, Dan Mullen, those names are all being bandied about, which
Tom
I find to be
Herman.
very funny. Yeah, I would give that grouping what I call the John Gruden Award of the offseason, which, remember, every time there was a coaching vacancy for years there, it was like John Gruden, right? So that group is constantly mentioned now. But there is another name that came to light, and it's one that makes sense. And it's one, Aaron, where maybe they were kicking the tires on and maybe they got some sort of verbal agreement in place, and that's why you make this move so late. But a little less than an hour ago, it was put out on Sports Illustrated that, Scott Frost, look, Blake Walters in the chat right here, so they saw Scott Frost mention, that Scott Frost could potentially be the next Miami offensive coordinator. Now, I think it's heavily in the rumor department right now. I don't think this is anything concrete, but you look at Scott Frost, key in developing Marcus Mariota, key in developing Mackenzie Milton. You're trying to get Van Dyke going again. Yeah, I mean, Frost
he knows the state of Florida. Head coach at UCF has some ties in the state when it comes to recruiting. Well-known name. I love Coach Frost. So I think he's awesome. I would love to see him get back on the sideline somewhere. So I just think you could have done. I mean, the Alabama situation is different because especially their OC left to go to the NFL. He got hired away. He wasn't necessarily fired. Yeah, this still should have happened a month ago. Yeah. Like, would he just wake up all of a sudden 4 days ago and said, "Oh, I think I should just get rid of my OC"? I don't know.
No, so that's why. So that's why I feel like it's probably like, oh, okay, I got some sort of tacit commitment from somebody else, right? Like I wanted to upgrade, and maybe I was going in the background, like, okay, if I can't get this guy, then I'll just roll with Gattis again. But then maybe you get your guys to make this move. Like the news cycle will tell us. As far as Alabama OC goes, I got an idea, dude. I got a name. He was just fired. He was just fired from the Dallas Cowboys. And when I say I got a name, I do not mean this in any journalistic sense. I mean this in a what? Oh, Kellen Moore?
He's with the Chargers.
Shit! When did this happen?
Yeah, T-Bob was ready for his hot take of the day, bro. He was like, get ready to clip this shit.
It up.
He was feeling juicy. People were in the chat were going to go crazy. He was going to start, getting his pom-poms out. Yeah, I'm the smartest guy in the room.
It made all the sense in the world, dude. Kellen Moore going back to college and getting with Alabama. Okay, well, whatever, dude.
The
point is,
failure makes good entertainment.
The point is, Alabama can have their pick of the litter when it comes to OC because we've already seen what happens. When you go be out OC at Alabama, you become a head coach of wherever you want to become a head coach of. So we'll see what Miami ends up doing. Again, me, I am not a Mario Cristobal believer. At the same time, I do kind of think maybe Gattis was a bit guilty of trying to force something with his personnel that wasn't there. Like, Miami ran the ball just as much as they threw it this year, and I'm sorry, they couldn't run the ball. Remember the joke that the Middle Tennessee coach made? Mm-hmm. He went on radio after they beat Miami's ass. He said, they paid us $1.9 million for 1.9 yards per carry. A joke so vicious that he later apologized for it and accused just getting caught up in the moment. But like my biggest problem. What does this say? Only takes. I my screen is so big. I can't. Yes, there we go, dude. There we go. Only takes. But hold on. Look, we put that idea out there, so none of y'all can steal it legally. I'm pretty sure. I'm a lawyer. I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was talking about now. Doesn't really matter. Brum, your mic's on, by the way, too. I can hear you incessantly clicking and breathing.
And breathing.
Yeah, somebody's looking at some only takes. I feel you, man.
Only
Getting a little hot and
takes.
heavy. Hell yeah, dude. I guess we were talking about Miami or something. I don't really.
It's a shit show.
No. Sorry. I'm sorry. The last thing before Brum ruined me with that beautiful only takes graphic that I want to say is that if you're a coach, if you're an OC, it is a red flag, in my opinion, to get out there and be like, we need to we need to throw the ball. I always want my coach to answer like, look, I do have some core philosophies, but we will do what our personnel is capable of doing. Like, you have to be willing to bold and mend a bit to what your team can actually do. So you know me, I'm not a Chris Fraud guy. I'll maybe give him a little bit of the doubt because I could see Gattis coming from Michigan and being like, this is how we're going to run it. And it just didn't.
I like when you went there. I don't believe in Chris Fraud. Like, you said it like it's his name.
Hey man, you got to make it stick, dude. I mean, right? It's called in that like the Trump technique, right?
I was about to say, like, I'm not a very big Sleepy Joe guy, but maybe he'd do well.
Exactly, dude.
I want to go to A Barge in the chat. A Barge in the chat says, no, it's B2B Visor. Saban will promote Joe Cox to offensive coordinator. So Joe was a starting quarterback my freshman year. Bounced around South Carolina, Charlotte. Now he's the tight end coach at Alabama. Interest. I don't think Saban would hire someone that's unproven. I think Joe's a great coach, but Saban's only going to hire a guy that's been an OC somewhere else. And if he coaches well. I mean, look at his track record. He's not going to promote a position coach to OC, which I would love. I would think it'd be pretty. Yeah, he's tight end coach. Like, I would love it. I mean, good old, like Red and Black Dog said, good old Joe Cox. Got some good stories of Joe Cox, but another show, another time.
Joe Cox. Has anybody ever said good old Joe Cox before into a microphone? I know I said earlier that everything that has always been said on the internet, I don't know if anybody's ever been like, good old Joe Cox. Now that he coaches at Alabama, I think it does beg the question, what's his middle name? Loves? Because he coaches at Alabama. My favorite random Georgia Joe remains Joe Tereshinski. Okay, I will accept no other just flash in the pan Georgia quarterbacks. Also, everybody, my son may be a redhead. Y'all were all very mean to Joe Cox about his red hair. Do you want to offer an apology to him? Well, we're here.
Why would I offer? I love Joe Cox. He was the man.
Did you make fun of his red hair?
You bet. As you can tell from Joe Cox to now Stetson Bennett, if you don't have thick skin as a starting quarterback at Georgia, get the fuck on.
Wow.
Or suck it up.
Wow. Unreal. Oh, last thought of the day. Alabama fans, you are not allowed to claim Jalen Hurts, okay? I didn't say Alabama football. Shut the fuck up. I didn't say Alabama football. I didn't say Nick Saban. They can claim him. The team, the program, the kid who runs a social media account, Nick Saban can claim him. Not you, Alabama fans, you toxic assholes who ruined that guy's life for a couple of years, who made him retreat into the good
ran
word
him
of the
off
Lord
to Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah, you ran that man to Norman, Oklahoma with your takes, okay? You told him he was crap. You told him he couldn't throw the ball. You told him Tua was way better than him. You told him he'd never make it in the NFL. You don't get to claim him. And if you think from his quotes that Jalen Hurts is claiming you're full of shit. He's claiming Nick Saban and the process in Alabama and all the positives he got there. He is in no way claiming the Alabama fan base. So I just want to be painfully clear that if you catch an Alabama friend, if you're out there in the college football wilds today, and you catch an Alabama friend trying to claim Jalen Hurts, just remind them that they're full of shit. And that you can almost guarantee that if you were to look at their old texts or their old message board takes, that they would have been talking about how bad Jalen Hurts was and how he can't throw the ball and he's so inaccurate and blah, blah, blah,
First
blah.
First, simmer down. You're like good old Stetson and all the Georgia players right now. Like you think that the message board is the majority of fans out there. That is like 5% of the fan base lives on the message.
The majority of Alabama fans hated Jalen Hurts. Big truth.
No, they didn't hate
Aaron,
him. No,
Aaron, they have no fucking perspective. As I was having to act not even act
like. He won the SEC championship when Tua couldn't. He came back. No.
As I was watching Danny Etling throw for 2,500 yards and 16 touchdowns and thinking it was the greatest quarterback play I've ever seen, they were shitting on a guy who was back-to-back SEC Offensive Player of the Year. It's the ultimate Alabama has no perspective message. They had a player who was dominating and winning every single game that he played in, and all they did was talked about how bad he sucked. No, screw you. They do not get to claim Jalen Hurts.
No, I'm with it. When I remember Jalen Hurts, I will remember him as a Alabama Crimson Tide, not as a Sooner.
See, no, that's bullshit. Okay, because he got closest to winning the Heisman.
Those are my thoughts. I would remember him as we won championships at Alabama.
Yeah, he also got screwed out of a starting spot. He got beaten out. Dude. I don't know. Brum, should I have saved my Jalen take for our Only Takes account?
Maybe another time. We'll have to bring it up.
Yeah, damn it.
Boys, I'm going to do some research during my next radio show about this Only Takes Naked Sports Takes show that we could do.
You really think there's an angle there? The real question is, Aaron. Okay, so here's you want to get down to the brass tacks of it? You want to get down to the real talk, bro? B-hole is nice, okay? But how comfortable are you to swing meat on the internet? That's the real like at the end of the day, that's what we have to come to peace with. And look, I'm a happy man, okay? And I'm blessed and I think highly of myself, perhaps higher than I should have. I still don't know that I'm comfortable swinging meat on the internet. So ultimately,
I don't think you're going to have to,
bro. What is this? I mean, come on, dude. What?
We're going to do a segment called Measure Up. We'll measure each other.
Instead of big deal or no big deal, big dick or no big dick. I mean, there's a lot of good ideas.
I think we can just show a little butt. I think we show a little butt. We'll be fine. Just cross the legs. You'll be good.
That's not how. I mean, that's just not how this is going to work.
Why don't you do a take show and not talk about the Cowboys while we're at it? Like, come on, Aaron.
Exactly. That's what I'm. Brum, that is such a good analogy. That is exactly you cannot go half stepping in the Only Takes hole. And if you're not willing to swing meat, and I don't think if I'm being honest, Aaron, I don't know if I'm willing to swing meat. I just don't think we're ever going to be able to make it, dude. It's unfortunate. It is I would leave
all or nothing. Daniel says,
yeah,
all or nothing.
I would need. Yeah, you just show a little butt, dude. Just a little butt, dude.
Easy sit how I'm sitting, cross-legged, where you see one cheek. And that's about it.
Oh, maybe that's what we'll do. Like a Buffalo Bill type deal where we just do
it's like the ESPN naked. It's like the Naked magazine. Yeah, it's like the ESPN Naked magazine. Yeah, okay. Like that. Yeah.
So the problem
I just got the best idea for ESPN, the body issue, Skip and Stephen A. the first take desk.
Skip and no, I want Skip and Stephen A. But I want them doing the Buffalo Bill. I want to see them tucked between their legs, full mangina, dancing for the camera.
I do apologize to the casual collector for coming into this conversation a little bit towards the end of it. What the fuck conversation did I just walk into? Go back. We have a lot of good takes on the day of Where It Comes Sports.
Would you debate me? I debate me. I debate me all the time.
All right, we got to go.
All right, we got to go.
Wow.
All right. Hey, we love y'all. Y'all have a great day. Sign up for, I almost said sign up for OnlyFans. Sign up for FanDuel, FanDuel Sportsbook app, one of the premier sportsbook apps, and use the promo code SNAPS. You get great sign-up deals. Please, wherever you listen to pods, rate and review the pod, Apple, Spotify. That really helps us, y'all. I love seeing new reviews. It makes our day. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, sub to the channel. We love y'all, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be live at practice tomorrow for a brand new episode. Wait. Sorry. Thank you, Aaron Murray. Thank you to Ryan Brumley, Paul Farrington, Pat Gunner, Danny Cardenas, and everybody hanging out with us in the chat. We love y'all, and we'll see you tomorrow.